Hi again, everyone. I'm olliemathews. This is Societal Narcissism. This video is sponsored by contribution from Nathan. Before I get to Nathan's video, please go to the description box and click on the Rumble link. I ask everybody to watch over on Rumble. I'm still monetized there, and it'll help out with the channel. So Nathan sent in a request for me to re-review an old video. And it's a good one. For those of you new to the channel who haven't followed my entire story, who may not understand why I say and why I do the things I do, this is why this is an important thing. I think going back and reevaluating my own story, just to remember how many layers deep this goes, because you forget, because it's just so much and so many years. And then after this I'm going to be 5 videos short of 3,000 videos, and that doesn't count how many I deleted. So let's say it's 4,000 videos, and most of them people's stories. A lot, it falls to the wayside. I mean, that's the thing with narcissism and being abused by these people. They do it so much, and there are so many stories, and even after you've re-remembered them and retold them, you still forget them. Remember that. Remember that before you think maybe I need to forgive. Really? Do you even remember what your entire story is? Probably not. That's why these videos are so valuable. You go back and you rewatch your own story and be like, oh yeah, that's right. All right, so on to it. This is a 40-minute video, so I got it sped up. Happier days. 12,000 views, 436 likes. All right, let's go.
Hi, everyone. First thing I'm going to do here is put a content and language disclaimer on this video right away. I hope you stick with it, because I think in the end it's going to be worth it. And I'm going to once again show you how being no contact and staying no contact will clean your filter so you can see your past for what it is from a fresh perspective.
Going no contact and staying no contact. Listen to yourself. This guy seems pretty smart. I forgot I was doing this with my beard at the time. I actually had grown out the goatee part of it. Actually, you know what? Kind of looked good. It was very satisfying to kind of just run my fingers through it and pull it. I don't know.
I've been very consistent in saying the longer you stay no contact, the clearer and clearer things become for you. And this happened this week. And this road I'm about to go down is going to be long, it's going to be winding, but I promise you it all is going to tie into the end. There's going to be some rehashing of some old stuff that I've discussed in the past, a lot of new things that tie in, and it's going to be a lot of side roads. But I promise you everything is going to tie in neatly. So I was watching broadcast on TV of a radio show, Mike Francesa, and he's a radio sports guy up in New York.
I know. Oh, I know what this is. Holy yeah, yes. Oh my God, Donald Scordato. That name is going to come up later.
New York, and now they simulcast them on one of the Fox Sports networks, so I'm able to see him down here and watch him down here. And baseball season, a lot of baseball talk. Well, World Series talk came up, and somebody brought up the 91 Minnesota
World
Twins
Series.
who won the World Series that year. And immediately, I'm triggered.
Scumbag.
Because that put me, when I think of the 1991 Minnesota Twins, I think of that World Series. And the reason I think of that World Series, not because it was probably one of the greatest World Series ever played. 2 teams who were last place teams the year before now are in the playoffs, Atlanta and Minnesota. And it was a 7-game series. It was one of the greatest series. If you're a baseball fan, it was one of the greatest series you ever want to see. And Game 7 goes into extra innings, and the starting pitcher, Jack Morris, he was like one of these, I think he's a Hall of Famer, but he played most of his career for Detroit, got traded to Minnesota for one last shot at a title, and is this old man, and he's pitching into the 11th inning, and he had this amazing World Series. The Braves won in an extra innings.
One of the best World Series you ever wanted to watch. And I was a Yankees fan, and the Yankees hadn't touched the World Series in 10 years at that point, which seemed like forever, at that age. But what a great, it was an amazing World Series because both teams were in last place the year before, and they both went from worst to first, and now they're in the World Series.
And I was cheering. I was rooting for, the Twins won in extra innings. And I was rooting for the Twins, and I was watching it in my room, and it was late at night. It was after midnight. After I think I was still a cashier at ShopRite.
I was,
and I had worked late that night, and I had come home, and it was after high school. It was the year I graduated high school, so I was going to college, and I had worked late that night, and I was watching the World Series on this old TV I had found in my parents' basement. There was no cable in my room, but I was able to get the basic station, so I was watching the World Series. And after they won, I'm like, yeah, I clapped. And I look up, and when that happened, I look up, and my father's standing in my doorway in his underwear. And this is something my father did frequently to me. Either in his underwear or most times naked. My father would like to confront me with things, standing there, either naked with his dick out, or in his stupid colored jockey shorts.
Banana hammock.
And, like he got strength out of his dick or something.
He did.
So this is what...
He
so
thought
I look
he
up,
did.
he's standing there, luckily this time in his jockey shorts. And he just looks at me, and he points. And he goes, I'm going to get my pound of flesh out of you. And I'm like, what? What are you talking? He's like, you heard me. I'm going to get my pound of flesh out of you. And at this point, I was 18 years old, so they were constantly threatening to throw me out of the house. I'd be on the street. And I talked in the past about, at that point, I thought I was helpless. I couldn't do anything. Even though I was working, I could have. And he walks away. Now, mind you, this is a month after. Now, this is in October. That's when the World Series is. My father threw himself on the floor in his office in September of 1991. So now this is a month later. This guy's trying to fake his disability. He's still getting paid from his job at the time. So now here it starts. He's looking at me, and I'm going to get my pound of flesh. Like this ominous threat, this vague threat.
Wait a minute. Holy shit. How did you not... Oh, it just put something together. Oh my God. Oh, how did you fucking miss this? Unless I'm forgetting now wait.
What? Whatever, man.
Yeah, I'm going to get my pound of flesh. It was a month after he had thrown himself on the floor in Abraham and Strauss faking his disability. That's crucial. That's crucial to this. I don't...
And I literally blew him off at that point. I'm like, literally, go away. I just stopped. I'm like, don't even engage it. The next night, I come home from work, and it's after midnight, and I start heating something up on the stove. I was making soup or something quick. I was hungry. I had classes the next morning, and I had classes all day, and again, I was working late at night.
I was working like 5 to midnights, 4 to midnights.
Top right.
So by the time you get home, after you close out, and it's 1 in the morning.
Downstairs comes my father. This time, bare ass naked. You're going to admit what you did, or you're going to be out of this house. You got 2 days. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's going on. He keeps
Talking about? What are you fucking talking about? What are you talking about?
coming up into my face. And I keep backing away. Not because I'm afraid of him.
Right, because I knew I already could knock him the fuck out. Oh my God, how did I not put this all together then? Or even when I'm talking about it now, because if I say it, I mean, maybe I'm just not remembering saying it. Because there's a crucial piece to this.
Because he's naked. But he's taking it as, I'm afraid of him.
I'm not afraid of you.
And I'm like, I'm not afraid of you, dude. Get away from me with your swinging dick.
Creep.
Just get away from me.
Fucking creep.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He goes, you know what you did. You know, and then finally, after 3 hours of wrangling with him in the middle of the night, this naked moron. The money you took from downstairs. I'm like, what money? What are you talking about?
What money? What are you
He goes, your mother, you know where your mother stashes money. There's $20 missing.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking?
This is over $20. Like, again, this is over. I didn't take it. What are you? This is over $20, but it's not. It's not. It's not.
And he goes back up the stairs. Now, at the time, I was so volatile with my mother. I was convinced my mother was just making something up to rile him up. So my mother comes down. And I just said to her, I'm like, you setting me up for something? You setting me up for? I'm like, what the hell is this bullshit? No, I know you took it. I know how much. I'm like, I didn't. Well, and who took the money? Well, now that I think about it in hindsight, I know exactly who took the money. Well, not exactly. It was either my brother or one of his dickhead friends.
Bobby.
Because he was the one who spent all the time down there at that point.
I didn't hang out down there. And he had stolen my money on New Year's later, a couple of years later. That was his fucking move.
He was 13, 14 at the time. That's when he was smoking weed, buying 20 bags. It was either him or one of his dickhead friends. But I'm so paranoid that I'm going to get thrown out of the house, or like, what's their angle here? You know, I was just so beaten at that point. Like, I couldn't even think straight. I'm realizing now how to be him. So I end up having to admit to stealing money that I didn't take out of fear of being thrown out and cast out. And I didn't even consider that it was my brother at the time, but it had to have been, because it wasn't me. And as I've thought of other things that my brother has done, one of them is stealing money from me. It is pretty obvious, yeah, he was the one who did it. No matter, because I would have gotten the blame anyway. But again, this was another power move that my father would do in front of me, naked or in his underwear. Like somehow he grew strength by having his dick out.
Right, I mean.
And these weren't the only times he would do it. It was
Okay. I missed it here. And this is me missing the forest for the trees, because this was about him, because he's trapped in the closet, because this was going somewhere. So I might not have been looking at the incident fully. I didn't drill down to brass tacks. Because there's no way my mother didn't know my brother took that money. There's no way she didn't know it was him. There's no way my father didn't know it was him. No way. The second point is, the only money that would have been stashed down there was mine in the first place. Why? Because crucial to the story was my father was taken to the hospital after he threw himself on the floor in his office of A&S in September, the month before. Why is that? Why is that important? Well, let's go back to a year earlier, maybe not even 5-6 months earlier. That fight where my father tried to disassemble my car and take it and called the cops, and the cops told him, you better give it back. And then he tried to come at me, and my mother had to pull him off. And he was powerless. There was nothing he could do. Well, what's crucial to that time in September was They held my father in the hospital for a week to figure out what was wrong with him. During that time, I was driving an 85 Dodge Daytona with turbo that I got because the car that I was driving, the Mustang, was kept breaking down. They loved it, kept breaking down. It was like, and they wouldn't help me buy a new another used car. They wouldn't. I didn't know much. You know, I ended up buying this because they had no control over my money. None. They had no control over my money at that point. They had no reason to control it. So I had like $5,000 for a car. And I bought this 85 Daytona. I had it for like 3 months. And then the turbocharger overheated and blew the engine. Happened. I was 18 going on 19 at the time. So my father's in the hospital when the engine blows, and now I don't have a car, and I need to go. I'm in college. I need the car to get to college. They don't want to be driving. They don't want that. So in the hospital, my father says, "I'll have the engine rebuilt." It was going to cost $2,100 to have that engine rebuilt. And I talked about this engine, and I've talked about this. About how they got control of my money, but I never put all of this together because it's all connected. He's like, but if I do that, then we have to control your money. Like, why? Why? Like, they made me feel like I was irresponsible or I had done something so horrendously irresponsible with my money because I bought a used car for $5,000 on the money I had saved up from working. But again, once I had my license, I was so desperate to keep it and keep a car because it was the only thing that got me out of that fucking house. And I've talked about this. $2,100, he made me sign something, like, because he was always making you sign creepy fucking documents because that's just the way he is. And the reason I was working so late was because I was trying to make extra money just to get this paid off. And then a month later, this shit happens. So I have no control over my money. Not only are they setting to throw me out, like, you know, I had signed this thing and he loves waving that around, that he takes possession of the car. Like, how did I miss this? How did I miss this? Piece of shit. And I've talked about both stories. I just never put them together until now, like, because I just talked about it recently and I'm not focused on his dick right now. Oh, God.
It seemed like when stuff would go down, like I said, the story about me getting ready and drying off, it was like another situation. He's busting in my room naked, like always confronting me either in his underwear or naked.
And this is something that so many of you, when this kid, like, have talked about, especially with your mothers, busting in on you in the bathroom, busting in on you in the shower, trying to catch you getting changed. It's a fucking power move. And it's sexual abuse.
So, as I was watching that show, and, you know, that Twins brought up, that's how I got on my father's path. And I started thinking, like, why? Well, what is that? Like, I never realized before, like, holy shit. Every time that dude's confronted me, he's never been wearing anything more than a fucking banana hammock.
Always. Unless he's downstairs. Well, unless he was already downstairs.
And then I start...
And it already finished jerking off for the 9th time that day.
Thinking, because when that happened in 1990, in 1991, going into 1992, that's when I started. I went from being a cashier at ShopRite in college to working security for them. And then from there, from that thought, I jumped to working at Macy's in 1996.
Right.
And I've never talked about this before, about working for Macy's. Anybody who's worked in a mall or worked in some kind of public store, like a big store, not like a specialty store or anything like that, but any type of big store, like a department store, or a Kmart, or something like that, has heard stories about what goes on in the men's rooms. And I might have talked about this in the past. I don't remember. But one of the things that goes on in the men's rooms is guys who are gay and down on the down low meet up there
on the down
all
low.
Day, every day,
Borderline
to blow each other,
to
to have sex in the men's rooms. This is common. And you don't believe me, you can look it up, ask anybody, and they'll tell you. Oh, yeah.
One guy sits on the toilet, the other guy stands in 2 shopping bags. Crinkle, 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 crinkle.
I started in Paramus Park, had a major, major, major problem with it.
So
and this is
bad.
at the beginning of the internet. And even back in 1996, it was on the internet about like this store, the 3rd floor men's room, they used to call it cruising, like cruising for sex.
That was the site, cruisingforsex.com.
And it got so, like, at one point, it got so bad, they wanted us to start arresting the guys.
They were getting complaints, and it's something they normally wouldn't have wanted us to touch. But there had been some incidents in other stores and in ours, and they're like, all right, you see something, start trespassing these guys. Like, all right.
Because it got so out of control, because you would literally chase them out all day, every day. They'd have a code system. They'd be on the lookout for you, and they were intent on having sex in your men's room. And this men's room was right in the middle of the children's department on the 3rd floor. And it was getting out at that point where kids were getting pulled in and kids were seeing things. So at this point, the company's like, you guys got to start making arrests on these guys. And the way we made arrests is we had to go in there and wait for them to solicit us. And you've probably heard the story with the senator from Montana with the foot tap and the wide stance. All that is absolutely, like, all that stuff is exactly how it happened.
They toe tap.
They tap their feet. Yeah. They put messages on the walls. They drill in holes in your walls so they can make glory holes and stick their dicks through. It's most department stores.
Sodom and Gomorrah in there, man.
So out of control. I walked in one summer, like some July of '96,
like 15,
and there was a full-blown male orgy in the middle of the men's room. It was like, and they all just out the door. You never seen them out the door so fast. But they got wind that we were going to start making arrests on it. So they just decided, well, we're just going to do it in the stall. So that's why we had to have them physically solicit us. So we'd have to sit there in the stalls and wait for us to solicit the sex. And when they did, our shields came out. That was it. We rushed in, grabbed them out, called Paramus PD, hauled them away. So we were doing this, and we only did this for a couple weeks. And it didn't eliminate the problem, because the problem always existed, but it definitely stopped.
It stopped it for a while.
Flurry of it was all day, every day.
You couldn't stop it, and you could spot them. You can spot them coming in from the fucking parking lot because they had this 1,000-yard stare in their eyes, like, "Ooh, here he comes, cruiser," and then you got to know most of them, like you knew who they were. Some of them we arrested while their wives were shopping in the store. Don't tell my wife she's shopping in the store. Hey, man, that's up to you.
But that got me thinking, like, this other pervert case I had when working there that same summer. And it was during that same time period. And it was this old man, and I'll never forget his name. And he's dead now. So
Donald Scordato.
He was 72 at the time. His name was Donald Scordato. And what Donald liked to do was Donald liked to come in and jerk off in public play in your store.
Right on the selling floor.
In order for you to make an arrest on that one, you'd have to physically see him with his dick in his hand, and they wanted it on video. As long as you didn't touch anybody, he was good to go. And they had tape after tape after tape of this guy just in there jacking it. but he would do it through a hole in his pants and never actually take his dick out. Well,
in his pocket.
The one night I'm working with this another detective, Anita, and she was a long timer, and we had 2 off-duty cops that would work with us.
Good
well.
case catcher. Good case catcher.
And we're watching Donald, and she's like, here's the guy, here's the pervert. And this was the first time I've ever had to deal with him. I had heard of him only through the tapes and the pictures of him to be on the lookout for. And apparently he hadn't been in for years.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, holy shit, there he is. I'm like, who? And she's like, the whacker.
He hadn't been in since because that store was an old A&S, Abraham and Strauss. He hadn't been in since the conversion. Since before the conversion. I think like 93 was the last tape they actually had on him.
Watching, and there he is. He's doing the same thing in his pants pocket, jacking it. And then out of nowhere,
just takes it out.
And he's standing in the middle of the lingerie department, and he's standing in the lingerie. He's standing there just behind a rack, and you could see him. And the guy was kind of like, when he gets like that, he goes into his zone, so he's not even paying attention to who's around him.
Nothing. Like just.
And Anita was like, let's just throw him out. Like, we're just throwing him, like, I want to see what he does.
Let's watch him.
I'm like, let's just see. She's like, we've never been able to catch him. I'm like, let's just see what he does. So he's in the middle of lingerie, same deal, like the other tapes. You really don't have anything definitive. And he gets this look, and he locks on. And lingerie was on the border with the juniors department. And just then, he turns around at juniors and comes out from behind the rack, and he unzips. And because of the way the cameras are pan tilt zoom, so we're following them. But if you're coming from the camera, you can't see until they're into frame.
Right. We didn't know what he was looking at because we had that store. It was an older store. It had an older camera system. They had converted the 3rd floor to furniture where lingerie used to be, and they still had the pan tilt zooms up there. There was no reason to have them up there. So after this, we took the 2 that were up there and brought them down to lingerie and juniors. So we had every square inch of that floor covered after this.
It was, by the time we saw her, it was too late. And nothing really bad happened, but he comes, unzips, takes his dick right out. Boom, right there, like shot. Dead on shot.
Perfect.
And then
shot.
from the side, here comes this girl. She couldn't have been more than 8, 9 years old, and her hair, I'll never forget, was
blonde ponytail.
And as she passes, like, he blocks, and kind of as she passes, so she doesn't see him directly. She passes. We get her on camera, like, uh-oh. He reaches out and just strokes the back, like, and was just got it right on film. Strokes the back of her.
It was like this slow motion. We saw her. We're like, oh no, all of it. Oh no, because it was me, Anita, and John Casper, who was a contingent. He was off-duty Bergenfield cop. He had worked there as on staff, and then when he got on, he was working part-time, just to keep some of the benefits and all that. The discount they liked it. We had 4 cops that worked with us on contingent. Part-time just to keep their discount, and they were great. And as soon as we saw her, we're like, oh no.
Her hair with his dick in his hand, and me and the 2 cops, like, we were on top of him. I think within 30 seconds.
Oh, maybe Richie was there too. Richie Dupre, yeah, it was. It was John and Rich. So it was Anita, me, John Casper, and Richie Dupre. That's right. Oh boy, we knock him on his ass
out of that office and on top of him and dragging him. And there's an old tape still floating around of us dragging him by his collar backwards through the store. This dirty old man
with his dick out. We didn't even let him put his dick.
And luckily,
away.
when the cops came, so when the cops come, we process them. When the patrol comes, as soon as they walk in the office, they're like, "Donald, you again?" I'm like, oh, he's an old timer. He's like, I can't tell you how many times we've picked this guy up.
Over and over.
So I go down.
And what is he still? So what is he still doing out? What is he still doing out on the street?
He's on him. So I go down to sign the charges on him, and I'm talking to the detective. And it's pretty funny back there, with this guy. back there. They're all making fun of him, 72 years old.
When we had to pull the mother aside and let her know, because they had no idea it even happened. They had no idea. We had to pull her aside and let her know. She was so like, she's like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys do stuff like this. Like, well, you know, we can't let that happen. And, you know, it was a lesson learned for her, for sure. You know, you got to pay attention. Perverts everywhere.
And it turns out this guy is so sick. This guy was so sick. The one detective who was about to retire, he was on like 40 years on the job. He's like, I caught him back in 1960.
Oh, what was his name? I can't remember. What was his name? Irish guy. Skinny little old man. Like his gun was bigger than him. But what a funny dude, man. What a funny dude.
Before, he goes, I was banging this broad in my patrol car. I look up. There's Donald outside my patrol car window, jacking it. Just jacking it. And this guy's still walking around. Was still walking around until that case. He got put away and he died in jail.
Yeah, he died
because we were able to admit once we had him that time, we were able to get all the other videos we had, and we had like 15 prior videos for everything we could get on from the statute of limitations. And he went away, and that was it. He never.
Yeah, that was. They took Bergen County prosecutor took that serious. That went to grand jury, and we were only gonna. It was originally just going to be the one case, but I brought the other videos, you know, just to show them the pattern of why. And when the prosecutor saw it, she's like, oh, we're going to charge him with all of it. And they piled and they charged him with like 15 counts. They charged him with everything. And he died in prison, rightfully so.
He died in prison. So we're sitting in the back, and I'm talking. We're bullshitting with the Paramus PD, and the guy was like, the detective, the old timer, was like, I haven't seen. He goes with the men's room stuff, because it wasn't only our mall, it was the other malls too. He's like, with the men's room stuff, and now this guy, he goes, we haven't seen this many gay perverts since we raided the old Elmwood Park health club.
This is where I said at the beginning, it all ties in. It all ties in.
I remember that vividly, him saying that.
And it didn't register with me. It didn't register at the time.
And when I remembered that, a bulb went off in my head. Bing.
How did you forget this?
My father was a member of that health club.
Yep.
It got closed down for basically being a gay brothel.
It was a grinder. It was disguised as a gym. It was a grinder. He was going to play racquetball. Racquetball. Well, you're playing with some balls, I'll tell you that.
Huh.
What you did with the rackets, you know, you can leave up to the imagination. And again, the guy he joined with was a guy he knew from Macy's when he worked there or Bamberger. When he worked there, he was actually the security manager. And I remember my mother asking, and I asking when we first met him, is he gay? No, he's married. He's got a wife, and how? Because he seems gay. He comes off as, you know, real effeminate, you know. He's not gay. He ain't gay. Gay rage, man. That closeted gay rage. Gotta suck. Jerking off over other people's wives, going to gay grinders. I mean, the degeneracy knows no limit, huh?
Things are starting to fall into place here with my father's aggressive behavior. And then I start to think, I'm like...
The borderline on the down low. That was before I coined that phrase, I guess.
Come on. And then I remember, like, well, who are my father's friends? Well, my father really doesn't have any friends.
Nope.
Except his best friend, the only friend I ever knew of, that he had from childhood
Anyone's.
was a guy named James.
He ever talked to? He ever hung? We ever
James
met?
was a very nice guy. I liked him a lot. James died of AIDS in 1990.
90.
I think.
90. Yeah, 90.
He was gay. My father's best friend. Very flamboyantly gay. But my father was like, yeah, nobody knew. Eh. All right. And it always did strike me kind of odd that his best friend, and he didn't know, and he was that flamboyantly gay. But whatever, my father had no other friends.
None.
You know, except the sets of friends that they went through, you know, that they kept having fights with. But that was stuff involving my mother and them. Those were friends of both my parents. I'm talking about, you know, I have friends that are mine. My wife has friends that are hers. We have group friends together. You know, there's different types of friends. My father had no friends that were his friend.
Right.
And then the only other one was, well, there was two. And then I thought of, well, when my father was working, did he have any work friends?
I did remember.
And there was only one guy that he was ever really kept in touch with that he would call a friend. And that guy, I remember, also belonged to the Elmwood Park Health Club. And now when I think of that guy was married, but very effeminate. Very prim, very proper, like just came off as very effeminate to everybody.
Dressed to the nines, impeccable. Like, and again, I like to dress well, but like you could like everything pressed, like everything, like it was over the top.
Huh. But what about all the porn? Like, what about all the Playboys all over the house? And doing research, I found that, you know, basically my father's trying to emulate his father. When my grandfather's stash of porn. So is it any wonder? My father's goal was always not to feel inadequate to his father. What better way to hide than maybe try to emulate his porn collection and overcompensate for how much this woman wants you and that woman wants you. And, But does my father have any friends outside of work that he didn't grow up with? That he met after, that he's like, you know, somebody he met later in life as an adult? Yeah, he does. The guy who used to live next door to them, and then they moved a couple blocks away, had a family. Nice guy, real jokester. Mm-hmm. My father, one of these guys my father like just kind of looks up to, like always wants to try to make him laugh as a clown.
Yeah, that's exactly how he treats him, like a fucking clown. Like a clown.
Now, is this guy giving any type of signals? See, now when I think of Frank,
I doubt that. I doubt that in hindsight now.
The first thing that I have to think of when I think of this neighbor Frank is my grandmother's Virginia's funeral, where my father.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes. Where the name came from. Oh my God, that's right. Holy fuck. Holy shit. Thank you. Like, I've been calling him Meat. I know where the name. I remember. Like,
there had to run out of the wake. Had to run out of the wake proceeding.
I thought it was.
And not that I care that it disrespects Virginia. I could care. Fuck her. Like, not that. But this is why, because why I remember, the first thing I remember of Frank is this. Even though I've known him for years, I've known him most of my life. During my narcissistic grandmother Virginia's wake, my father went bolting out of the wake, running.
Looked like he was like broken down in tears. Like, that's like, it can't be. Like, what is this?
Out of the wake ceremony, whatever the freak you call it. Went running out. So I went out
Lip
after
service.
him, and I'm like, I thought, like, what the hell is this? He hates Virginia more than me. No, he was laughing.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
lost it. Lost it laughing, where he was crying. So it looked like, you know, you see somebody going out of a wake like that, you think they're having an emotional breakdown.
what's going on? And he was like, Frank. I'm like, what? What happened? And he goes, he kept whispering in my ear, Meatnormous. I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? He goes, now I have to rehash here. This Meatnormous is a name.
This is Jazzy Shorts. I'm probably going to tell the Jazzy Shorts story.
Neighbor has given to my father. And it relates to, if you remember my earlier videos, when we put Virginia into a home.
Into the nut hut.
Something that happened, one of the things that happened was,
I did.
as we were putting her in, Virginia, it was me and my dad and my 2 aunts. And Virginia starts cursing at everybody, except me. She's like, not you, Matthew, I love you. Even though I was the one.
Yep.
Really having her committed. But the only one that knew how to do it.
I could have taken it all from them. She'd have given it to me. If I was nice to her, and this is what, I could have taken everything. Everything.
But she wasn't mad at me. She's like, she goes at my father. You. Yeah, I know what you're doing with those jazzy shorts on. Those jazzy shorts. Like, jazzy shorts? Like, what are you fucking talking about? Yeah, those jazzy shorts with that big dick of yours. This is what she's in the wheelchair. She's like, with that big dick of yours, they're all mesmerized by your dick. And this was the story I was telling, that my father was so goddamn proud of this story that he told everybody. About jazzy shorts. Everybody
who's telling me about my dick, and now they're infatuated with my big dick. You wear that short? Oh, I mean, come on. Oh, what a goddamn wreck. What a wreck. I'm glad I went back. Thank you, Nathan, for having me go back and do this.
The only one who played back into it was...
I'm going to have to go and pull up some more Meatnormous videos. So if anybody wants to see me do some more Meatnormous videos, there's a good sponsorship topic if you want to sponsor one of those.
This guy Frank, because as I think about Frank's behavior, Frank couldn't get enough of Virginia's stories. Couldn't get enough of it.
Loved them.
Reveled in the drama of it.
Couldn't get enough. Loved it. And pissed my mother off, too. It would piss my mother off because, you know, to be fair, and I don't want to be fair to her, to my mother or Virginia, when Frank's father died, you know, like a year early, it was like very serious, very somber. Nobody would have thought of telling jokes, okay, at his way. Like, yeah, I hated her. You know, I hated her. I hate him. I hate them. Maybe it's... Meatnormous. That's where Meatnormous came from.
Who likes drama?
And he was proud of that name. He was proud of that name until we took it from him and started making fun of him over it. You use one of their tactics. You take what they're proud of and you make them believe it's something negative. In his case, it is something negative though. But he was like walking around telling anybody who'd listen. He just wanted to tell everybody how big his dick was, really. Creep.
And who gives names to another man's dick?
Exactly. Who does that?
I've been a straight man for 41 years. I've never had the urge to comment on the size of another man's dick. Especially a guy who I'm supposed to be friends with. Let alone give it names and talk about your dick. Huh.
Weird. I still don't think, I don't see him as gay. I just see him as completely inappropriate, you know, and seeing my father as a clown. Still fucking weird. Because he's giving my father what he wants. Oh, yeah, I'll talk about your dick. Like, what? Who knows? I can't see it I still can't see it with him.
What straight man talks about another straight man's dick?
Yeah.
I talk about it here on this
Yeah, I go both ways on it. Pardon the pun. No.
channel in relation to sexual abuse. I'm not naming my buddy's fucking cock. I've told other people who've asked me for advice on their relationships. I've told several women, yo, that guy you're with is gay.
Yup.
That guy, because it's obvious. But I couldn't see it where the hostility was coming from. It took almost 5 years of being no contact. And out of nowhere, on a stupid sports radio show, the 1991 Minnesota Twins has taken me down a path and a realization of where my father's hostility and why he did what he did comes from. It's obvious. It's obvious.
What is this? Oh wait, I got it sped up.
This poor guy. That's why he stays with my mother. It's the perfect cover for craziness. All my mother would complain and tell me your father hides from me when I want to. He hides. That's why he couldn't perform with her 3 seconds an hour. This poor guy, they closed his health club down. He's afraid he's gonna get found out. So what does he have to do?
Meat wants to suck a big fat cock.
He's got to exert his dick over his teenage son, like he gets some kind of drawn power from it.
Come on.
You should have just been gay, dude. It's cool. You'd have been much happier.
I forgot how much fun I used to have with these videos back in the day, man.
I am so happy I have figured this one out, because at least I can assign a why. At least I can assign a why.
It's a part of it. It's a big part of it.
Look at these guys who get caught being on the down low and being gay. They act exactly like my father. I still can't forgive it. Wow.
Like, I'm speechless at this point. Like, what else? Like,
It's like it's all just falling into place. At least on that end. That's all he wanted. He wanted just to be around. And now he's afraid he's going to be found out. He's got these porn mags. He's got to act like he's into like swinging, but he never does anything. Meanwhile,
he's always holding the camera. He's always holding the camera or hiding behind the drapes. He's always in the fucking cuck corner. He's always in the cuck corner. Meat's always been in the cuck corner.
Have sex. He hides from my mother. He's too plump chumping out.
Sorry about your sweater. You're just so pretty.
It's like I've been telling everybody. The longer you stay no contact, the more and more clarity you're going to get over your past experience.
Even over this. 11, 12 years later, Okay, looking at it again, I'm getting more clarity. More clarity, more pieces are falling into place. Why? Because when I went into this video, it went into focusing on 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 his sexual orientation, on everything that was going on in regards to that. I didn't reanalyze what triggered that incident, that pound of flesh incident in the first place. And it was all related, all of it.
Over your life. This was all right in front of me the whole time. This is video number 51 or 52. All these pieces were right in front of me, yet I couldn't see it.
51 or 52. This video now is 2,995. So 2,905 videos later, or what? I'm sorry with the math. 45, something like that. I'm sorry. Yeah. 2,945 videos later, here we are.
The attitudes, the behaviors. Going no contact, I know, is a big step. And it could seem very daunting, and it could seem like you're all alone. But until you do, you're not going to have any type of idea of who you are and what you've been through. All right, everybody. I'm going to make another video really soon, so look out for that. I had a very interesting video today from somebody, and it's in regards to narcissism, child custody, and I get a lot of those. I get a lot of people going through that. Both men and women, mostly men, but some women too. And this video I'm going to go through is the perspective of somebody who's actually working for a lawyer, and saw what happened, and it's going to be pretty interesting. So look out for that one.
Oh, I think I know whose video that was. Oh, psycho.
All right, everybody. I hope I tied it all together for you real neat. Let me know what you think. If he just could have been honest with himself, probably would have been a lot happier in life. And he wouldn't have one son that wants nothing to do with him and another one that barely talks to him.
Yep.
All right, everybody. See you all again real soon. Thanks. Bye.
Whew. Well. So that is this, as they say, is that. Even after 12 years, okay, I'm still getting clarity. Meat. Should have just been honest with yourself. So, well, this was fun. So again, there's other meat videos. So if you'd like to request another meat video for sponsorship, please do. Thank you to Nathan for the contribution and the suggestion. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you like me to cover, something you like to expose, you like to set up a Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, you like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with either the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and email links in the description box below. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. Also, be sure to subscribe to both my channels on Rumble. If you haven't watched the video over there, please do. Even a click helps. Follow me on X and Telegram as well. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Societal Narcissism. Take care, everyone.